Good morning, everybody. Today is February 28th, 2021. My name is Shelly, and this is my channel, Proverbs 31:22, where I share with everybody my cross-stitch and quilting mostly. Welcome. I'm not stitching, filming. I'm filming on Sunday this week, and I may make that a habit. I haven't decided, but anyway, I'm doing it today. So we're going to talk about what I stitched on from last Sunday to yesterday, Saturday. Okay, a little bit of business. First of all, I did hear from one of my giveaway winners, and Lori, I did stick your bag and goodies in the mail on Friday, but I still haven't heard from Carrie Jellison. Carrie, you won this bag and some goodies that are inside the quilting journal and this little embroidery kit, and I also have some flosses in the bag. So I just need to hear from you by the time I record next week's video, or I am going to just redraw. I'm also kind of thinking about changing my channel name. Not drastically. I'm just thinking about maybe adding Stitcher on the end of the Proverbs 31:22. I'm still kicking that around, so let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Okay, so life updates. I did make it to the next stage of the process with the local hospital. I haven't heard. She emailed me last week and said, they want to set up a video interview with you. What are some days? I gave her the days, but I haven't heard back on that yet. I also got a call yesterday from one of the staffing places that I'm registered with, and they have a medical billing position that's come up. I don't really have experience with medical billing. That's always something I really wanted to learn, but I don't know if they're looking for someone who's already experienced or they're willing to train, but yeah, I told her to go ahead and send my resume. Still thinking about, the clinic that I used to work at, and it just doesn't make sense to me to work 4 half days, drive 40 minutes one way for a couple of $100 a week. She might be willing to do 2 whole days, but she really wanted, someone to be there at least 4 days a week. So while it would be better on me physically, I think it's a little far of a drive. So, worst comes to worst, and I'll have to do what I have to do, but I'm going to hold off on that for now. We did go to basketball games this week. My older grandson had a game one day this week, and then he had 2 games yesterday, which is their tournament started. So he played 2 games yesterday. They lost their first game, and then they won their second game, so they play again today at 1 o'clock. And then I'm sure if they win, then they'll have to play again, because I think they're like one of the 4 teams that are in the finals, I guess, semifinals. So that's just what's been going on around here. Nothing special. Same old, same old. So what did I stitch this week? I stitched on my, pretty much did what I've been normally doing. Now March, I'll talk about that when I get to plans. That's going to be a little bit of a switch up. But I stitched on my magazine monthly challenge pieces this week. I did start one, but I'll show you, I'll go ahead and show you that one first. I had to, I started at, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, and I had to frog. I messed up somewhere, I don't know where, but it was just too complicated for me to try to count it to figure out where I went off. So I just restarted it. But this is the pattern that I'm talking about. It's called Winter Daybreak. I love it. It's just gorgeous. I think it's going to be beautiful when it finishes. If you hear thumping, that's my husband hitting foam golf balls in the backyard, and he always tries to aim for my window by my sewing machine. So he promised he wouldn't make a lot of noise, but whatever. But something, I don't know, with the chart, the way they had it divided up, I had a hard time reading it. So, like I said, I, started stitching in the middle just because I was sort of afraid of where I would end up on the fabric. So I wanted to be safe and start in the middle. But, so I started in the very center and kind of went around this side. And then when I got up to the top, it was off. So I frogged it all, and I did start stitching on it again last night. So I do have a little bit to show you. And I just realized I forgot to grab a board, and they are not where I can get them easily. We'll just have to make do. So that's my little start. Pretty much a little over half of that middle circle, the middle purple motif, and that's really what I wanted to get the whole thing done this week, but it just didn't happen because I had to frog. I did just pull colors from my stash, and I did remember this time to grab something from my thrifted floss. So this is one of my thrifted flosses. The other ones I didn't really have closest colors that, were right for the pattern. So that's my little thread card that I made. I just take like comic book boards and punch holes in them, and then write the color numbers and the symbols, and then washi tape it down on there. So when I'm done with this project, I can pull it off and, use it for my next one. That only has, a few threads. I'm stitching it on 28 count Monaco white. And I don't think I'm not going to stitch on this for a while. It'll I don't know when it'll be, but I don't have it on my rotation for March. So, and then I did just stitch very, very little on my all sewn up piece, which it's supposed to become a Biscornu, but I'm not going to make it into one. I'll tell you why in a second. Let me see if I can find the pattern. So this is the pattern. I finished the needle book, and I showed that last video. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of the glare. I'm struggling. So I finished the needle book and showed you that last week. Almost finished it. But this is the Biscornu that I'm working on right now. And I don't know, this is the first time I've tried to make one, and I wasn't sure about how big I needed to cut the fabric. I cut it the size that they said in the magazine, but it's small. So I just don't think I'm going to have enough fabric to easily make one. So I think I'm just going to turn this into like a little small. And all I did was just add a little bit of the blue right here. I did some of this right here. I didn't stitch on I think I stitched on it one day. And that's on a 14 count oatmeal Ada that I picked up from Joanne. And just using a variety of DMC flosses from my stash. I've got my little cheat sheets here so I can tell y'all about each project. Okay. So that was my two monthly magazine challenge pieces. That some of these are like from previous ones, but those are ones that I had planned to stitch on for February. And of course, once that month has passed, if I haven't finished the piece, then it just sort of goes into my all whips category, and it can get pulled for my weekly focus piece, which this pattern that I'm about to show you that was my weekly focus, it is a magazine, one of my previous magazine challenges. And it is, it's called Home to Roost. And it's from CrossStitch Crazy, July 2020. I'm stitching it on 36 count Zweigart linen in platinum. And let's see, I'm going to hold this up behind it. And this is what I got done. So I had part of this, like I had all of this done already. I had part of this side of the peak of the roof done. So I got all of this done, all of the inside here, and then this part of the bottom border. I wanted to be completely done with it, but it didn't work out. So I did realize I'm stitching the white 2 strands over two threads. The rest of it I'm stitching just 1. But when I started stitching on this part, I think maybe up here, I sort of forgot that I was doing 1. And so some of it has 2 strands, but then I remembered from that point forward and just did the white with 2 strands. I think this piece is just so beautiful. It's very soft and romantic looking. So that was my weekly focus piece. And those are just ones that I stitch on every day throughout the week. So my SALs that I worked on this week. So I'm working still on Stronger Together, which is a fundraiser from Fat Quarter Shop. And this is the patterns that you get when you purchase this. It ends today, which I don't know if this video will upload fully today or not. So it may be over, but through the end of today, all the proceeds from the sale of this pattern and the quilting one, which looks like this, they are donating to the United Negro College Fund in celebration of Black History Month this month. So I'm almost done with it. I wanted to say something else and it just slipped my mind. Oh, I was going to say, I don't have any idea, but last week's video uploaded the same day I taped it. I think maybe it was in a different definition, like it was standard definition. I guess, I didn't do anything different than I normally do, so I don't know what happened, but let me know if the quality was, real poor or anything, and I'll try to figure out if I can fix it. But I was excited that it got uploaded in the same, day. I was like, what? This has never happened. So I will finish this today. So I'm just sort of combining the patterns, and I did the main pattern and then I did the words from the secondary pattern. And so all I've got to do is finish the G and then do the E and the R, and I will be done. So I stayed on track with both of those Fat Quarter Shop stitch alongs this month, which I showed the finish on of the heart one last week. This is 28 count even weave that I got from Hobby Lobby and hand dyed myself. And I'm stitching it with the called for DMC flosses. I think it's so pretty. I don't know how I'm going to finish it. I think I'm going to frame it some kind of way. I thought about maybe turning it into a pillow, but I don't think I am. So I stitched on that SAL. And then I also stitched on the Stitching Book Club, which is it's a mystery, so I can't show you a picture or anything. But this is my first time doing the Stitching Book Club. We're reading Sense and Sensibility. We have until next Thursday, I think, to finish chapters 1 through 23. I'm on track to finish the chapters, and then, on the Facebook page, I think they'll have like discussions related to those chapters. But this is my progress. So all I've got left to do from this release is fill in this little flower right here. So I'm keeping caught up with this one as well. Guess it's easy to when you're not working, right? I love it. I just love it. Look at the center, this blue and the peach. Oh gosh, I think it's so pretty. So this is also on that 28 count even weave that I got from Hobby Lobby, and just did an all over dye with evening blue, which is what she called for. And then these are the called for DMC flosses. So I will continue working on that this coming week, and hopefully I'll get that little part finished. So Fat Quarter Shop has a lot of stitch-alongs coming that are starting in March. A lot, like their charity for Make-A-Wish, the Prim and Proper, and then the Shine On one. And those are all three that I plan on doing them, but they're just all coming due at the same time. So I realized that they have a schedule on their website for this stitch along, and I really want to try to keep caught up on them. So like it starts March the 1st, but they have we're supposed to finish this whole top part by March the 3rd. So I went ahead and kitted this up and started on it late this past week. And so what I did was, I said I have all these Victorian motto threads, so I need to use them. So I went through and made changes. Some of them I stayed the same. It calls for Aura Floss. I don't have Aura Floss. I don't plan on buying any. So I was doing the DMC, and then I just went through and picked some of my Victorian mottos that I could use. And I'm actually using one more, this color right here. I'm doing it in a lavender. So I talked about wanting to maybe stitch this on black before, and I did decide to go ahead and do it on the black because someone commented, I think it was Rachel, commented, it'll be like an Amish quilt. So I was like, yes. So this is my little start that I got. So today I'm going to finish this part of the pattern, which is the upper right block. And then I think I'm going to do the little X's that are up here and finish the border. And then I have to do this one, before the 3rd. It's a lot. The other ones are more spaced out. I don't know why they spaced it like they did. They should have went ahead and started it at the end of this month, but they didn't. So I knew that I couldn't do like this brown right here is what this is supposed to be. And I knew on the black fabric it wouldn't work. So I went ahead and changed it out for Victorian motto pom-pom. And then I really wanted to put some lavender on it, and I kind of forgot about that when I first started stitching. And so I went ahead and I'd done these parts right here, and it's like a pewter color, but it was real close to the white. So I went ahead and said, hey, I wanted to do purple, so I went ahead and changed it out. But with the The pink one, I'll just use that on the parts that touch the black, and then the other browns, I'll use the brown that was called for. So these are the colors that I chose. Some Victorian Motto, some DMC, and then one, the white is 12 grain from Classic Colorworks. I think it looks good. I thought about, getting a true black, but I have so much of this chalkboard, I was like, I'm just doing it on the chalkboard. So that's a 14 count chalkboard black Ada from Woodshelts. So I'll be stitching on that, every day. I went through March and made all of my plans, and so I have goals set for, what I need to achieve every day to keep caught up on that. Okay, so that was all of my SALs. So for my, and I've just been keeping them all in one bag together, so I can just, since I'm working on them pretty much every day, they all stay together. So for my weekly rotation, last Sunday I worked on Winter Rose Manor, which is by Brenda Gervais. Love this piece so much. I've been seeing a lot of people finishing them, and they're beautiful. I don't find this and I don't know why, because this is the same linen that I stitched the Home to Roost on, and I don't seem to really have problems stitching on it on that one. So I don't know. But this is the 36 count platinum from Woodshelt that I'm doing one strand over 2 threads. And this is what I got done. So I basically just filled in more on the house and then started doing a little bit on the roof last Sunday. I see a lot of people changing their the house color, which is conch or conch. Some people say conch, some people say conch, to more pink, which I understand, wanting it to be more pink, but I think it's going to be okay once it's stitched completely. I think it's going to look pretty close to the house. I thought about possibly changing mine, but I had already bought all the floss for it, so. And these are the flosses. All fancy flosses. And let's put this back in the bag. This is my my stitching bag that I finished last year. This is a pattern from Hands On Design. That includes the bag pattern. And that piece is part of the New Year, New Start, New Friends SAL over on Instagram. So then on Merry Monday, I stitched on this sweet little piece, which is a freebie. I don't think I have a picture, so I'll have to pull it up on my iPad. Not iPad, my tablet. I wish I had a current iPad, but I don't. So let's see. Well, it's a freebie, so I don't have a picture. But I'll just briefly show you the pattern back here. You'll have to go to her website, and I will link it below. It's Croquetta Go-Go-Go. The name of the pattern is Cassetta de Natale. Natali. I don't know I don't know. It's Italian. I don't know how to speak Italian. I'm doing this on a 28 count. I don't have my fabric written down, but it's a 28 count. Can't think of the name. It's something pink, but so that's what I got done. I had already had this bird, had all of what's on the house, so I finished this chimney, started the gift, and then started this other bird. She has houses for like all the seasons and holidays, and they're all freebies. So you definitely want to check her out. These are the flosses that I'm using. Some are called for, some are not. Some I substituted DMCs, and then I have 2 Classic Colorworks that I'm using. So I stitched on that on Monday, as well as my little Let It Snow ornament, which is something that I plan on stitching every Monday, except for next month, which I'll explain in a minute. But this is my progress. So I got finished with all the letters, and then I got this little snowflake done, and then started on his the snowman's hat. This is on 14 count opalescent Aida 2/2, 2/1, sorry. And these are the flosses. I'll show you a picture of the pattern in a minute. So that was one of my previous magazine challenge pieces. Let's see. This is the little pattern. And it's so cute. So I'm doing that for my younger grandson. Hopefully I'll have, you know, each several ornaments finished at the end of the year. I have 2 that are finished stitching, but I haven't fully finished them yet. So, just to tell you a little bit about how I plan, you know, my projects to stay on track. And some of them will have due dates, and some of them I won't put it, you know, if I don't really have a deadline. But what I'll do is I'll sort of divide the chart up into pieces, and then I will, you know, work on those in that order. Sometimes I have to reorder it, but so if I did, you know, I could go through these and say, I want this to be stitched by this date, and then that's usually what I do. Like if I want this finished by December 1st, then I would work backwards. So I would think, how long is it going to take me to stitch the snow at the bottom? And then I would work backwards from December 1st to do that. And then just go up. And then just color them in, stitch them as I'm going. I know people think that's probably a little anal, but it works for me. It helps me to know where I'm at in a project and where I need to go to, you know, meet the deadlines if I have one. So on Timely Tuesday, I didn't stitch on my weekly focus pieces, not my weekly focus, my that day. Like I was supposed to stitch on one of the Valentine house trios. I don't know what happened. I guess I ran out of time. I did stitch that day, but I probably worked on quilts a little bit more than I had been. So we're going to skip that day and then go to Wordy Wednesday. And this is Spring Flourish from Jan Hicks. And that's the pattern. And I'm stitching this on 28 count wood shout linen. in the color Water Lily using Mrs. Sada's Silk Floss Pack, which are just beautiful to work with. They're so soft. And I have entirely too much fabric, but this piece is like, this is like the 4th time I started it for various reasons, and so I didn't want anything to mess it up, like not having enough fabric. So I basically finished the eye completely and then did some of the flourish around the eye and start at the end. This really wouldn't take long to finish because it's a lot of, you know, it's not a lot of stitches. It's a big area, but they're not all stitched, so I just love it. I love working on it. And I'm stitching that 2 strands of floss over 2 threads. I think when I first started, I tried just doing 1 strand and I wasn't happy with the coverage. And you know, I don't think there's really a rhyme or reason to when I don't or do like one or the other, because I have pieces that I'm stitching, you know, on 28, 1 strand. So I just kind of look at it and see what I like. So on Thankful Thursday, I stitched on my Fall into Autumn band sampler. Yeah, let's see. Well, I don't have a picture there, so I'll have to go to my magazines and pull it up. I do all of my magazines through the Readly app, which I absolutely love, because you get gobs of, you know, access to gobs of magazines for a, you know, flat monthly fee. So this is the Fall into Autumn one. This is a series by Cheryl McKinnon, and they're in CrossStitcher magazine. This one's from September 2020. I am planning to do all 4. I've got the winter and the fall one started so far. And this is stitched on an 18 count light oatmeal Aida. And I am using 1 strand of floss over 1 thread. So I got a good bit done. I filled in a lot of the grass, you know, down here, like all the way across on 2 rows and then up around the tree. So I just have to do, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe a little bit more up here. And then like filling in these little confetti stitches and then doing the stems on the sunflower. And then I'll be finished with that first part, the farm scene. And then I'll get on to this yummy band right here, which is like quilt blocks. Got a good way to go. And this is in a bag that I made with fabric from Joanne. So pretty. So that's Fall into Autumn band sampler. And then on Flora, Fauna, Filigree Friday, I worked on my Bluebird. And this is a bag that I made. This is fabric that I had left over from a quilt that I made years ago, which I think I'm going to have that quilt as a backdrop pretty soon on one of my videos. But This is some leftover fabric that I had of it. I love bluebirds, they're my favorite, and I love cherry blossoms. And it's got grunge on the accent in the back. So this is Cottage Garden Samplings, the Bluebird of Happiness, which is part of their Songbirds Garden series. So yeah, I was like, that's the perfect thing, perfect fabric to make a bag for this pattern. I'm looking at these little motifs right here. I don't think I really ever noticed that those were on there. They are beautiful. I haven't gotten to that part. So I'm on this part over here. And I sort of divided the pattern up into, sections that I numbered. So I'm getting close to having a number 1 section finished. This is 28 count wood shelt linen in French lace. And this is one that I'm doing 28 count. I'm doing 1 strand of floss over 2 threads. So filling in the house, and then I think there's like one more little blossom, or just to finish this little part up right here, and then that will be what I consider part 1. So that will be 1 gold mitt. This was my birthday start. I don't really have a end date planned, but I love it. And these are the flosses, which are just beautiful. So yummy. So that was my Friday piece. And this week, my wheel actually chose patterns from the Valentine House Trio twice. So the Tuesday I didn't work on the one that it picks. But yesterday I did work on one that I've been working on a lot lately. It's been picking these a lot. So these are the 3 patterns, and this is the one that I worked on yesterday. And this is also on 28 count wood shelt linen, and the color is China Pearl. And let's see. And that's my progress. Sorry guys, if I had a board it would be 1,000 times easier. So it feels like I'm close, but I still have a good bit of stitching. But I've got to fill in the, there's a window, fill in the door. There's grass under here. And then there's bunting at the bottom, and then the border still left to finish. So still a good bit of stitching, but I'm happy whenever my wheel picks these because I love working on them. I'm doing these 2 strands over 2 threads. So see, like I said, it's never, I don't know, there's no rhyme or reason to when I choose to do 1 or 2 strands. And these live in my Eat, Sleep, Stitch, Repeat bag that I made. This is a Lori Holt pattern, and I just framed it and turned it into a bag. So that's what I stitched on this week. I'm pretty happy with my progress. I've already torn my calendar off of my big calendar that I planned stuff on. But there was a lot of stuff highlighted, which means that I finished a lot of what I planned on, getting done. I did have a previous finish that I was going to show you guys. Since tomorrow is March the 1st, I will be putting this little guy out. This is Year of Celebrations from Hands On Design. The March pattern, and includes all 12 plus 2 Canadian patterns. These are stitched, I stitched these on 28 count factory tea-dyed Monaco using some called for, some my own choices. And then I have a little frame that has a clip on it, so I clip it, and then the little bows have magnets to fit, you know, to stick to the clip. I love having these because these are about the only things I have finished, like fully finished. So at least I have one thing I can display in my house. I see these people on FlossTube that have, you know, walls with stitching, and it's like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can't I get some stuff up on my walls? Oh well. I will one day. Life goals, right? Okay, so haul. I wanted to get some floss to stick in those bags that I gave away. And so I went to Joann during the week and started picking some colors to go with the bags. And then I think maybe I needed a few colors for some projects. I don't remember. But anyway, while I was picking out those flosses, I looked up and it was like they had a sale going on, 45 cents a skein. I was like, oh my God, really? So I got out my Xstitch app and started looking through, you know, my inventory and seeing what numbers I was missing. I didn't get all of what I was missing, but I did get a pretty goodly amount of flosses. I kind of went through and like I got some of the basics, you know, some whites, and then I, you know, kind of tried to think of, I don't know, some colors that I was sort of missing maybe. Of course, I do have a lot of pink in here, which I already have a lot of pink. What can I say? I'm drawn to them. But like this little periwinkle blue, this color blue, some greens. I really need some oranges. I don't know why I didn't pick up any oranges. So yeah, that was good. That was at Joann's. I don't know if it's going on everywhere or not, but it was going on at mine. They also had a buy 3 get 2 free on their quilting notions, which I needed one of, and then I just had to like figure out what else I just decided to buy to get the sale. So I needed one of these. I use these to mark my quilting lines, and I'm hand quilting a quilt for my daughter, so I have one with my hand quilting stuff. And then I started quilting on that project that I showed last week for Project Linus on my machine. And so I was having to get it, you know, move it from place to place. That kind of stuff drives me crazy. So I was looking for this, and then when I saw the sale, I just looked around and saw some other things. So sometimes I'll mark, if I'm doing 1/4 inch away, I'll just mark it with this tape. Super easy. You just lay it next to the seam and then stitch and then pull it off and replace it, move it. I've been coating my floss with beeswax. I know this is maybe controversial, but Lori Holt does it with hers, so hello. I figured I'm safe, right? I have some that a friend gave me a long time ago from, they visited like a farm that sold products from bees, and they had some, you know, natural beeswax. Mine is kind of old, and so it wasn't coating real well, and so they had that, so I picked that up. And I'm liking what it's making my stitches look nicer, I think. And then when I'm basting quilts, I never seem to have enough basting safety pins, so I picked up a box of those. And then I showed y'all a while back how I started storing my floss when I saw Niecy Lynn do this. So I had one of these already that I put all of my DMCs on, and then I decided to just get one to put all of my fancy flosses on, my overdyes. Because I had them all on like one of these bigger rings, and I was like, that's not going to last forever. So while I had that sale opportunity, I went ahead and picked up that one. And since I bought all of that floss, I realized that I'm running low on my little floss tags. How I store my DMC is on these. I'll hole punch down here and then tie them onto these little brown little cards. I think this pack of like 200 plus these little lengths of jute, which I could use for finishing, etc. I think it was like $7 with the shipping, you know. No, with the tax, because it was Prime free shipping. So I went ahead and ordered those and got those in so I can tag them, I guess that's what you call it. If I had bobbins, I would say bobbinate them. And then I also got in the fabrics for the next block of the Coriander Christmas quilt. So I starched the fabrics yesterday. I'll be cutting them out early this week and then stitching it. I did work some on the quilt behind me, which is the quilter's planner. I started putting the columns together. Still have a couple more to do, and I have some issues with I can see like how much I've progressed since I started this with my accuracy in my quilting, but this shows like some of the inaccuracies. So I have some places where I'm going to have to probably adjust sizes, which this quilt is pretty easy to do that because it has a lot of like white space. So I'll be able to just trim it. I'm not going to put any borders. I'm just going to, get it basted and then quilt it and bind it. I'm thinking about maybe, I don't know, I may quilt this on my machine, or I may, someone told me that a quilt shop in Madison rents out their long arm, and so I may go there and try that out on this quilt to see if I like doing that. I don't know. I really do not like quilting big quilts on my home sewing machine. Even this, one that I showed for Project Linus last week, it's not anywhere near as big as this, but it's still, I hate it. I hate trying to fit all of the, excess in between the needle and the bit, the motor. I just hate it. I don't like it. Now, if I can just straight line it and don't have to, move it around at all, it's okay. So if I do that, if I do this one on my home machine, it will be some kind of straight line only, because I'm done with having to turn it around shapes. I also went to the dollar store, and I needed just a few little things, but I found this little bunny for $4. He's a little metal bunny with a little simple little bow, raffia type, not raffia, what do they call that stuff? I guess it's jute ribbon, because it's like a bunch of strands of jute connected some kind of way. But I thought I could use this to finish the chock full hip hop, the small. I could, finish that to put right here on him. And, until I have that ready, he could just be part of my Easter decorations, because he's super cute. They had the pink ones, they had blue, they had green, and they had, he's got a bunch of, like, hot glue strands on him. Pink, blue, green, and cream. So if you wanted to do, you know, a little display of more than one, you could as well. I think he's adorable. Okay, so that's what my week was consisted of. That and watching FlossTube. So a couple of new ones that I've discovered. 614 Stitcher. She posted in, I think she's in the monthly magazine monthly challenge group, and I think she posted that she had her newest FlossTube up, so I went and watched her. And we're stitching a lot of the same things. She likes purple. She's stitching on the Stronger Together, and then some of her magazine pieces is all things that, you know, I kind of like bookmarked, so we have a lot of the same taste, so check her out. Give her some love. And then last video I mentioned the fabric dyer that I found on Instagram. She commented on my video, and she actually has a FlossTube. She's Yanni Stitcher. She has some that are in, I guess it's Spanish. I'm not sure if it's Spanish or Italian. But she also has some English ones, so check her out. I love listening to her talk. She has she has a soothing kind of voice and a pleasant voice. Not like my voice. My voice is not pleasant whatsoever. So I love listening to someone who has a pleasant, smooth, you know, silky type voice. So, plans. So, next month, which starts tomorrow, I'm going to do, this is my magazine monthly challenge plans. So I'm only starting one new thing, which is the one that's the theme for the month, which is blue, because one of the founders of the group, it's her birthday month, and I guess that's her favorite color. So this is the only new piece I'll be starting. I got smart and used the acrostics for projects that I already had going on. I was able to change this one because I finished my needle book. So I'm going to work on Home to Roost. And what I'm doing for these as far as goals, this is going to kind of replace my regular weekly rotation for March, because I am doing those 3 stitch-alongs with Fat Quarter Shop, and I'm doing the March Mayhem. So I wanted to kind of put my regular rotation on the back burner. And so this is going to replace it. Like I'll stitch on different ones every Wednesday, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, instead of, you know, spinning my wheel to find a project to work on. So let me show you a picture of the one that I will be starting that's new. And this is not, I don't think it's technically a ornament, but I'm going to turn it into an ornament. So they have this trio, but I'm going to stitch the little squirrel only. The Serendipity stitch along is on a navy cloth. I'm hoping that what I have will be enough to stick this on to, because I forgot when I was at Hobby Lobby to get some more navy Aida. I think this is going to stitch up pretty quickly because it's, you know, the black work body, and then there's some X stitches in the moon, and then the white parts down here, and then the rest of it is just back stitch and long stitch with two strands. So I think he's real cute. And my older grandson's favorite color is blue, so I thought I would do that one for him. So that's my only new start for the magazine monthly challenge. Actually, it's my only new start completely, because my March Mayhem, I'm going to do finishes. So I picked 6 pieces that are close to finishes, and I went through and did my my calendar this morning. Oops, sorry. So it looks real messy because I have so many different things going on, and I wanted to divide it up into categories. So, but these are the 6 pieces that I chose for my March Mayhem. And then I just went through this morning and made my plans for what I wanted to accomplish each day. And I didn't make them where they're unattainable. I made them where they're doable. So I think by the end of March, I'll have 6 things finished. Yay! I hope it works out. Now, one of them is this, which is finished, but I am going to, I wanted to gift this to someone at the end of last year, and I got COVID. I didn't feel like I could work on it when I was sick. You know, I didn't want to have COVID all over this piece. So it was in quarantine for a while, but so now this doesn't apply. And the name of the pattern is Ho Ho Home, which I kind of wanted it to say that. So I'm going to frog all of this. Up here it's going to say Ho Ho, and then down here I'm going to do Home, which I'll have to chart the M and the E. But I don't think that'll be a problem. And I think that'll, you know, that'll just look better. I didn't really like the way it was separated down here anyway. So it all works out. So that's my first thing I'm going to work on, which I should be able to get that done in a day. And so the other, where did it go? Oh, the other thing that I plan on working on this week and finishing is Jan Hicks Thankful piece. Let's see. I don't have a picture of it. Jan Hicks. Let's see if I can get it to pull up easily. And of course, I cannot. Let's see if I have it. Sorry, guys, I hate. Yeah, I took a picture of it before, so this is the pattern. So all I've got left to do is finish this word. I've got a little bit more of the yellow to put down here on the greenery. Finish filling in right here, this corner, and then this corner and over here. I mean, it sounds a lot when I'm listing it out, but it's not many stitches, you know. I mean, like each one of these is like 6 stitches. So I have a plan to finish this coming week. And it's a doable plan. So I'll work on the words one day, I'll work on the greenery one day, then I'll finish like this part one day, and then up here one day. And that's on 25 count Cloud, I believe. I didn't pull my papers on those. I'll share, you know, when I do my video for next week. So I'm going to work on that for my March Mayhem, as well as doing the frogging and restitching. I'm going to, I'll finish Stronger Together today. And so next week, the only SAL I'll work on is Prim and Proper, and then Stitching Book Club if I don't finish that today, which we have a basketball game at 1, which is in an hour from now, so I may not get to stitch on that today. And then my weekly focus piece, I am going to continue to do that in March. And for this coming week, the wheel chose Little Sheep Virtues, which I was excited that it shows that a lot, because I don't get to work on these as much as I would like to, because I think they're just so cute. So I'm currently working on Peace. And this is what I've got done. So, it's iffy on whether or not I could get this one finished this week. I'll see how it goes, because I do have, a good bit of the border left to do. I've got to fill in the tree, and then there's some grass and something green down at the bottom. My green, blue. Is that supposed to be... I don't know. Is that supposed to be water and fish right here? I think maybe. Sometimes I have a hard time telling what things are when I look at patterns. But anyway, that's what I will be working on every day this week. And I may work on it at least a half an hour every day. Sometimes more if I'm really into, what I'm stitching on. So, or depending on what else I have to meet goal-wise for that day. Hopefully I'll get more piecing done on the quilt behind me this coming week. Going to get my Christmas block at least cut this week. Want to work some more on quilting the Project Linus one. And then I'm trying very hard to hand quilt on my daughter's quilt every day. I try to do that like before I start any other project. Sometimes it works, sometimes that doesn't. Like I had to go to town on Thursday, so I didn't that day. And then Friday I woke up feeling just kind of funky. So I didn't do it that day either. But I've been trying to, like when I get up, have my breakfast, do my chores first, take a shower before I do anything else. And then the next thing I do is work on Lakin's quilt. Because I need to get that done before October. And it's easy. I can do, once I'm doing sort of like rainbow lines. And I can do, it's like 6 of them in an arc. Each arc is 6 lines. I can do one of those in about an hour. So it's, probably a little less than an hour. But it's a huge quilt. It weighs a ton every time I have to get it and move it into my sewing room. Just like, oh my goodness, this thing is a behemoth. So anyway, I'm rambling now, but I will talk about what I'm loving. This morning when I got on Instagram, they had my feed included a video from NBC's The Voice, which I think it's a couple of days old because I went back to the feed to show it to my husband later, and they had several videos that were more recent. But The Voice starts tomorrow, and I'm so excited because the guy in this clip, and I will link the clip below if you're on Instagram, be sure to go check it out, because he sang one of John Legend's songs, and there were parts when he was singing that I thought it was John singing. And Kelly Clarkson did the same thing, and then they actually sang together because he said that he had sung one of his songs for an 8th grade talent show that he won. And so they sang Ordinary People, several bars of that together. So that was awesome. But go check that out. I'm going to link it below. That was the first time John has ever turned his chair for someone who sings one of his songs, because he's usually real nitpicky about, his own music being performed by someone else. He just sort of picks it apart more than he would otherwise if they were singing something else. So I'm excited that is starting this week. That's one thing that I really do like to watch. Love the banter back and forth between the coaches, and this season it's going to be Nick Jonas again, as well as Blake, Kelly, and John. So that's what I'm loving this week. So that's all I've got for you guys. Thanks for coming back and spending some time with me. I've been blown away still. Like I've gone over 300 subscribers, and that's in the last 2 weeks, going from a little over 200 to 300. So I'm thrilled with that. Just the more people that I can share stitching with, I love it. I shared the pictures from the last video, the thumbnail that was on that video, those projects. I shared that on some Facebook groups, and it notified me that someone in one of those groups had shared my photo and said, I think I need to get back into cross stitch, or I think I need to start cross stitching, or something like that. And so that just made me feel so amazing, that's what this is about. If we can inspire someone else to pick up a needle and thread and create something beautiful with it, I love that. That's what I'm doing this for, one of the main reasons. So definitely, subscribe if you want to catch up with me every week. Hit like if you like the things that I've shown you, and, comment below. I love interacting with you guys, and share the video. Spread the love of stitching around the world. I hope y'all have a great week, and